Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show. And on the line with me right now is the General Manager of Milbrooks Resort, Montego Bay, Jamaica. Please welcome Richard Wright to the show. How you doing, Richard?
Not bad, Nikki. Good evening. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Not bad. It's a pleasure to be
Not
on your
bad.
show.
Thank you. And it's awesome for you to spend some time and share with us all the great things that you're doing in Montego Bay. And I'm very fortunate to have been there just a couple of weeks ago to bear witness to the wonderful developments happening with your great vision. So let's talk a little bit before we get into what you're doing now on how you got started. Tell us about your background.
Well, it's a pleasure having you here the other day, and look forward to seeing you again. Basically, this is a vision of mine since I was about maybe 9-10 years old, growing up in the rural section of Jamaica. The whole idea was to try to keep families together, to create jobs, sustainable jobs, permanent jobs, for families that will stay close to their children in the rural community. So
where
that
did you
was
grow
my
up?
motivation. I grew up in the rural section of Jamaica, a section that's called Tango River, in the southwestern section of Jamaica, farming community. So there's a great need there right now to create employment. Farming is not doing that well in that area, so there's a strong need for sustainable employment. So hopefully with the work that I'm trying to bring to that area, we'll create that sort of sustainable employment to that area and bring some kind of renewal to the entire rural sector in that southwestern section of Jamaica.
Okay, all right. And I was had the pleasure of accompanying you to Tangle River on a couple of occasions to take some incredible footage. And I know that the whole area is not only rich in beauty, but it's rich in history. And we passed by, I believe it was Kensington area where Sam Sharp. Can you tell us a little bit about Sam Sharp and the relevance to Tangle River?
Well, yes, indeed. The Sam Sharp is considered one of Jamaica's first hero. Actually, he's listed as one of Jamaica's national hero. Even though there are several other characters that had fought in the Kensington region for the emancipation of slaves. Kensington was actually a place where the freedom torch, as they call it, the signal was lit to give signals to the other slaves around the various plantations to start revolting for their freedom. Now, in that area, over 160 plantations were destroyed during the fighting, and a number of people lost their lives. As a matter of fact, several hundred, maybe thousands of people lost their lives there. It is something to see. There are a few, displays around in town displaying some of the people that were involved in the fighting. There's a big Sam Sharp monument in the middle of Kensington. So it's a very historic place to be. The fighting, however, basically was covered a large area. Tango River was basically also within the area where the fighting took place. There's two major estates that were within Tango River, the Barnstable Estate, which is owned by a guy from England named Samuel Vaughan. And then there was an adjoining estate, which is the Moreland Estate, within Tango River, where my family house was built. The house was built in the middle of an English fort. I guess that fort was used to patrol the area and keep order. That fort was called Fort Haddington. The other primary fort that was also in the area of Flagstaff, now known as Flagstaff. In the old days, after the peace treaty was signed, after the fighting. That area was then called Trelawney Town. It's an area which was given to the Maroons, and which is pretty much sovereign right now, which is independent of governmental rule. However, if the citizens there want some governmental or municipal help, they could always ask for such. But it's a very historic location, a place in which we could go and see some of the burial grounds of the soldiers that fought against the Maroons. You can go to, various caves that the Maroons had hid to fight.
And just for people who are, sorry to interrupt you, Richard, just for people who are listening, who are, just coming to understanding Jamaican history, who were the Maroons?
Well, the Maroons were the people of African descent. The Maroon is Latin word for maroon is cimarron, means runaway. So basically all the slaves that ran off the plantations, didn't want to be enslaved or ran to the hills, that hid in caves, were considered Maroons. So that's basically, how the word maroon is derived.
What I experienced when I went to the Milbrooks campground was absolute serenity. It's such a beautiful area, so vast in this lush green forest and all kinds of animals, farm animals, horses. There's a horse rescue. Incredible view. But moreover, hundreds of years ago, was it probably the 200 years ago or a little bit under 200, that's where the Maroons actually fought the British right on your property. Is that right?
Yes, correct. Within the Vaughan's Estate, we're within what is now known as Camp Milbrook, and the surrounding districts that are around Tango River, where most of the battles were fought, and over 160 plantations were destroyed within that local vicinity there, within the campsite. The fighting, however, then snowballed to different sections of the island. So this area is very significant, and that's the main reason we want to, maintain a strong connection with the educational community. We'd like to invite folks to come up and, see things that they ordinarily wouldn't have read in your text or your history books. Just to get a bird's eye view in terms of some of the artifacts that we have there, places, like I said, where the Maroons hid, some of the grave sites, to see some of the characters that are involved on the English side in terms of, the whole enslavement is concerned. It's very interesting, and for people who like to trace their ancestry, since Jamaica was the jewel in the Caribbean for England, this was a place was considered as the transshipment hub for the transatlantic slave trade. So between 1700 and 1786, the records would indicate that over 600,000 slaves came here to Jamaica, and every year 160,000 or more were sent to North America and other Caribbean plantations. So if you have folks that want to look for their DNA, it's conceivable that you could find someone here in Jamaica that may have some connection. So it's a good place to start your ancestry. It's a good place for education institution to come and get a first-hand look in terms of what have occurred here historically. So it's a good research area also, as far as archaeology, geology, and so forth. I just want to say one thing, however. The slavery is not something that was contained only to people of African descent. Some of the first set of slaves that came to Jamaica were from Ireland. So you cannot forget that population that was shipped here from Ireland, that worked the fields before the Africans were brought here.
That's not put out there too much in history. A lot of people don't know about that.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's something that most folks would want to push underneath the rug. but it's something here that I think we should share to the world and for everybody to know about. Obviously, it's the slave trade was very horrific, but that was the thing that people did during those days. Human trafficking was something that was basically something okay to do.
Just another form of commerce.
Right. A lot of people profited from it. Both people that were involved directly with shipping, and also people that were involved in, getting all these folks together where they should be shipped across the Atlantic Ocean. So, that was basically a thing to do during that time, and something that should be understood, something that you can learn to grow from. It's not something to be totally ashamed of. That's just my take on it.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I was there at the site, as I mentioned, and I touched, I guess what you would call an artifact or an artifact of nature. The rock that had fossilized fish in it was just astounding. And you say it dates back over 40 million years.
Yeah.
So it would confirm that much of Jamaica was under the sea at some point.
Yes. Definitely. Besides the historical piece, Jamaica is also a good place where, people studying geology could, exercise their wisdom, in terms of, whether educating students, having an off-campus classroom where people could come and, learn about geological rock formations or fossils. But, you're looking at about maybe 40 meters above sea levels, and you'll find, fossils, marine fossils that are over 40 and 60 million years old. So the island is quite unique. And, for all those who may have other beliefs, it is some place to come and witness and see for yourself firsthand.
Absolutely.
However, it could, make you question your belief in, Christianity, anthropology. So, it's for all to come and witness and to draw inferences from it. It's a good place to learn from. It's like a walk-in laboratory. It's a place where you can gain a lot of knowledge based on the resources that we have there. So I welcome anyone that wants to come on board and, come and study, or just to come socialize, or come as a social group or a research group, to come right over. We will definitely try to, accommodate you as much as we can, and so you can explore and learn as much as you can, whether it be geology, history, or botany. We're quite welcome to have you here.
Okay. And which organizations have you reached out, and now you're forming alliances to explore the whole idea of the rich wellness components of the campground, the medicinal plants, the historical aspect. Who are you working with?
Well, as far as geology is concerned, and, just to let you know that my university from New York, St. Lawrence University, upstate New York, they've been coming here for a few years now. They should be here again this year to study geology in the area of medicinal plant. We've just forged a relationship with Oaksterdam University of California, and also partnering with the University of West Indies, and hopefully also another university here locally in Jamaica, to do a lot of research on medicinal plants. Jamaica, many people may not know, but Jamaica have more than half the world's medicinal plants. More than half of these plants are bioactive in nature, meaning that they have some kind of positive interaction with human tissue. So the island is full of natural resources, and it's these resources that we like to have available for both educators and researchers to take fully advantage of in promoting education and preserving life. For one, we can have options to create nutraceuticals, pharmaceuticals, and that could deal with a lot of the ailments that we have today. So why not study these things if it's available? Why not study it? The air is also known to have the most endemic plant species. So you have a wide array of different resources that are available at your fingertip to learn from. And so we welcome anyone, both on the research level, education level, folks that want to come up and involved in any kind of wellness program. We encourage you to speak to us, call us, talk to us, and let's see how we can collaborate.
Fantastic. Now, let's talk about the gorgeous Milbrooks Resort in Montego Bay, where the Nikki Clarke Show had the taping. The beautiful set that was created just right by the pool was, I show the pictures and their minds are blown. But that's only just a fraction of the beauty of the site. Can you just tell us how that came into being and what kind of services are offered?
Well, it was a pleasure having you, Nikki. Yes, indeed. We really appreciate you coming down and, exposing us to the world. Milbrooks Resort is basically a 14-bedroom villa. It comprises of two buildings, one with 10 rooms, the other with 4 rooms. It's a very unique architectural design. The incredible pool deck seats over 200 people that overlook the Caribbean Sea. That's ideal for any large group activities. We're
absolutely
now premier wedding destination locations in Montego Bay. We're proud of that. So we try to encourage large group organization, whether it be weddings, family reunions, film productions, seminars, corporate promotions, and so forth, to come here and, experience first-class hospitality. The resort have a full line of staff, includes a chef, butler service, housekeeping, gardeners, is well secured and gated community. We also have private beaches that we have access to. We, however, also provide transportations for folks who may not want to haggle with local taxi operators. We can find a bus, depending on the size of your group that can stay with you for an entire duration of your stay at the resort. And these are a few things that will make life more comfortable while you're on vacation here.
Well, I felt completely pampered, and I'm just preaching to the choir. It's just an awesome experience. So I really highly recommend that you contact Richard and get on board. You have to see Milbrooks for yourself.
Oh yes, definitely. You can find us at www.milbrooksresortmontegobay.com. Again, www.milbrooksresortmontegobay.com. We have contact numbers for the USA, Jamaica, Canada. So we encourage you. Call us and we'll try to accommodate you here.
Okay. Well, for our U.S. listeners, can you give us the U.S. number?
Our U.S. listeners, you can call 1917-508-6433. Again, 1917-508-6433. Canadian listeners, you can call 705-806-0762. Locally here in Jamaica, 1-876-631-6412.
Awesome. What are some of the things that you see happening, evolving with Milbrooks over the next, say, 2 years?
I think one of the major things that Milbrooks is will be involved in the next 2 years or so is the development of the biotechnical lab, the lab for medicinal plant research at the campsite, getting involved in setting up a wellness center where people could, utilize some of the organic-based, plant-based products that we'll make from the laboratory to use in the wellness center, as well as the development of a pain management facility where we can treat people for various ailments, some of which could be neurological disorders, post-traumatic type of disorders. So I think that's the main service that we plan on offering in the next few years. Hopefully we can, however, start breaking ground sometime this year. The other major items that we're looking to do is the construction of our science history museum, which will showcase local scientific work, as well as to showcase the historical artifacts that we have in the area, and also a museum where we could do genealogical research, particularly for those people that were affected by the transatlantic slave trade. So if you're looking to understand to develop your lost ancestral, find your lost ancestral ties, Jamaica is a place to be, and hopefully this museum will be able to offer you the opportunity. We'll be able to utilize the DNA machine to see if you're connected to folks that have visited the area or lived in the area. The other aspect of the campsite that we'd like to get developed is to do a reenactment of the war between the English and the Maroons, so people can come and watch it and have a first-hand view of what had taken place there during the 1800s. There's nothing of this sort has ever been done around here. I'm not sure either in the Western Hemisphere, but this is a venture that we're looking to undertake in the near future.
Okay, that would be amazing. Yeah, that would be so fantastic to see. Now, you've done a lot to help to transform people's lives over the past couple of years with your endeavors. How have you been transformed through this service?
Well, I can tell you that I've learned to become more tolerant. I've learned to become more patient, and I've learned to become more humble. Like I said, particular development of the campsite and all the things that we want to get involved with the campsite. The campsite is a lifelong dream. This is something, like I said, I want to do to create sustainable employment within that area to keep children close to their families. So it's something that's very dear to me. It's like a part of me. It's not something I consider like a business venture. When I go there, when I go up to the rural area, the campsite, or the surrounding district in that area, it becomes very overwhelming because you see the vast array of resources that's there that can be utilized to help people grow, and it's just not utilized. So it becomes a strain sometime on me, and knowing that you haven't reached where you want to reach, to provide some kind of measurable success or measurable gains in some of these folks' lives, and it's very hard at times. It's hard to explain, but you have to be in it to understand what I'm trying to say. But it's a task that I've taken on, and it's something that I'm committed to do. Hopefully, we can get some help from whoever that's willing to come and collaborate with us. It's something that's much needed. It can be used as a example for other areas if it's a success, which I hope it will be. And so I'm just looking to do bigger and better things for the rural sector of Jamaica.
Fantastic. Well, I'm a witness to everything that you've done, and I completely support your vision. So I would highly recommend that you take a look at the website. And Milbrooks is spelled with one L, or is it two L's?
One L.
One L. Okay. So,
yeah.
So just bear that in mind when you're typing in. It's MILBROOKS resort.com.
It's actually Milbrooks Resort, MontegoBay.com.
There you go.
And the website, www.milbrooksresortmontegobay.com.
Okay, fantastic. So take a look at all the pictures. There are more pictures that are going to be compiled as, Richard goes along. There's people fascinated with the site, so they're always coming and sharing all the great shots that they have. And then we have the Nikki Clarke Show coming up, which will be taped at Milbrooks Resort in the next couple of weeks. So really excited about that, and to be coming back to Milbrooks to have more great interviews with people who are doing fantastic things like Richard in Jamaica. So, Richard, I just want to thank you for your time. I know you're a very busy man. Thank you for taking a little moment out to share the great news about Milbrooks Resort. So I just want to thank everyone for listening, and this is the Nikki Clarke Radio Show. We're here, and we are all about transforming lives one story at a time. Thanks a lot, Richard.
Well, thank you very much, Nikki.
All right. Have a good night.
Same to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.